Okay, we're in volume 6 of the series I got, Bible Story by Arthur S Maxwell. This is my book. They're all blue, and this one is got Esther on the front, and I mean blue. See, it's all blue outside. Well, at least the top. Okay, we are at Part 3, Story 7, Day of Victory. Okay. With the death of Haman, a great change came over the Persian court. Mordecai was made prime minister, and all Haman's property was given to Queen Esther, who appointed Mordecai its guardian. However, the death of Mordecai did not remove the threat to the Jews. The king decreed still stood and could not be changed. Unless something unusual should happen, the entire Hebrew race, including those who had returned to Jerusalem, would be put to death on the 13th day of the 12th month. Esther decided to see the king again. As before, he held out his golden scepter to welcome her, but this time, instead of inviting him for dinner, she fell to his feet, fell on her knees before him, and with tears begged him to save her people. How can I endure to see the evil that would come unto my people? She cried. Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? With a Jewess, that's what I said, Jewess, that's what they call them, Jewesses, as his queen, and a Jew as a prime minister, the king was in a very difficult place. He saw at once that something must be done, but he didn't know what to do. So he told Esther that she could write her own decree and seal it with the king's ring and send it out to all the governors of the provinces, provided only that she did not reverse what he had written before. As this rolled the problem, this rolled, what it says, this rolled the problem of how to save the Jews back on Esther and Mordecai. So the two got together and tried to think of a way out. They no doubt prayed hard for God to show them what to do. They came up with a bright idea. In the king's name, they would tell the Jews to defend themselves from attack on the 13th day of the 12th month. So they drew up a document commanding the Jews to gather yourselves together and to stand for their life, to destroy, stand for their life, to destroy, to slay, and to cause to perish all the power of the people and the province that would assault them, both little ones and women. Excuse me. When the decree was written, Mordecai sealed it with the king's ring and addressed it to the lieutenants and the deputies and the rulers of the provinces which are from India unto Ethiopia. Then he sent it by post on horseback, and riders on mules, camels, and young dromedaries. I don't know what a dromedary is. That's what it says. Dromedaries. Or D-A. Dromedaries. The whole, okay, the whole Persian postal system went into action. And what a wonderful scene it must have been as riders on all these different animals rode out of Shushan, 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 I think that's what they said in the movie. Shushan, bearing the message that was to save God's people. There was no slackness either, for the post that rode upon mules and camels went out, being hastened and pressed by the king's command. It took many weeks for the decree to reach all the distant provinces of the empire, but it arrived in time, and as the Jews read it, they were greatly relieved. In every province and in every city, whatsoever the king commanded, command, whatsoever the king's commandment, and he decree came, the Jews had the joy and gladness at feast and a good day, and many of the people of the land became Jews, for fear of the Jews fall upon them. Okay, so in other words, everybody converted, pretty much. Okay, we have two pictures. We have King Esther and Mordecai. They write the decree, and then the horses carrying it off. And they didn't have copy makers back then, so they had to write all this stuff by hand. It's two at the bottom. It's Mordecai and the king, the Esther and the king and Mordecai writing it, and then there they go and off to every province from India down to Ethiopia. If you look at a map, I'm looking at a map in my mind and I can see it. Ooh, that's big. Okay. Then it says, then came the 13th day of the 12th month. On this day, by the king's first decree, the people of the land had the right to kill all Jews and take their property, but few acted on it. They, where they did, they found the Jews ready for them. The result was that the day many feared would be the day of destruction became a day of victory. And so once more, in his wonderful way, God guarded his people and saved them from harm that wicked men plotted against them. Again, the seed of the woman was preserved for the hatred of the serpent, and God's loving purpose for man's redemption moved one step closer to its final triumph. And it's got it says Herbert Rudin, and it has an angel protecting a family from the soldiers, and the soldiers got a storm to be dramatic. And there's the painting or the illustration. Okay? And that was the end of part 3, story 7. That was the end of it. So, and then that's the end of part 3. So we're going to break, and then we're going to go to our next one, and we've got a few more stories, and then once I get through with this book, we'll start on 7, and then we're gradually getting down. So I actually have 4 more books to go through. So be patient with my horrible reading, what I can do, and we'll see you on the next little episode. Be back in a minute.